Alrighty guys, we're back for some mono black vampires, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath, standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks, and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do get that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? Markov Baron is a 3-mana 2/2 with Convoke, so our creatures can help us cast this spell, which is awesome. It has lifelink, and other vampires you control get +1/+1. Dude, nice. Now it has another ability here, Madness, for 2 and a black. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its Madness cost, or put it into your graveyard. So that's interesting. I don't think I've ever played with Madness before. I don't know how often that's going to come into play, but we do have cards in here like Liliana of the Veil, which, has that each player discards a card. So maybe. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, right? What other vampires do we got packed in? Ichor Drinker is a 1-mana 1/1 with a lifelink Phyrexian vampire. And for 1 black mana, exile Ichor Drinker from your graveyard, incubate 2, activate only as a sorcery. Not half bad, guys. It's really just in here because it's a vampire with a lifelink, and the lifelink's really going to come in handy because we're playing with the Restless Bloodseeker this time round. So it's a 2-mana 1/3 vampire. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, create a blood token. Nice. Sacrifice 2 blood tokens. Transform Restless Bloodseeker. Activate only as a sorcery. So it transforms into Blood-Soaked Reveler, which is a 3/3 vampire. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, create a blood token, and then for 4 and a black mana, so 5 mana total, that's a lot. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So not really sure how often we're going to want to actually transform this, because it doesn't transform into anything too powerful. It just gets like that extra 2 power and that bottom ability and stuff. But we'll see, man. You never know. Sometimes games go on a lot longer than you would expect, and you end up having all this extra mana, and that might be a way to get the last couple points of damage through. You never know, huh? We got all 4 Voldaren Bloodcasters in here. It's a 2-mana 2/1 with flying, and whenever Bloodcaster or another non-token creature you control dies, create a blood token. Whenever you create a blood token, if you control 5 or more blood tokens, transform Voldaren Bloodcaster. Transforms into Bloodbat Summoner. It's a 3/3 flyer, vampire wizard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target blood token you control becomes a 2/2 black bat creature with flying and haste in addition to its other types. Bloodcaster happens to be a really good card, guys. It's just, it's really underplayed, honestly. Got 3 Vraan Executioner Thanes in here. It's a 2-mana 2/2 legendary creature, Phyrexian vampire. Whenever 1 or more other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. Nice. That's going to work well with the Bloodseeker, and it's going to help us get that extra damage through as time goes on. So, what else do we got in here? We got all 4 Falkenrath Forebearers. This is a 3-mana 3/1 flying vampire. It can't block, unfortunately, but that's okay because this card is pretty solid, man. Whenever Falkenrath Forebearer deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. So we have a ton of ways to get blood tokens, huh? For 1 black mana, you can sacrifice 2 blood tokens, return Falkenrath Forebearer from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nice. The last couple times we played with Forebearer, it's pretty good. It really knows how to plug that extra damage through, and flying is so important, like all the time. So I think it's going to be great in here. Okay, getting close to our top end. We have a couple pylons for removal. We do have more removal packed into the front of the build here too. A couple go for the throats and 3 cut downs. All of them are going to be pretty important. So pile on is a 4-mana instant speed with Convoke, so our creatures can help us cast it. We have a ton of ways to have a lot of extra creatures on the board, so I like that. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, and then Surveil 2. And Surveil 2 might not be bad in here because we do have cards that don't mind being in the grave, like the Ichor Drinker and stuff like that, because we can eventually get those incubator tokens. So yeah, I like Pylon for this build. Got a couple Henrika Domnathis in here. We really don't see these cards too often, do we? So this is a 4-mana 1/3 legendary creature with flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you get to choose one that has not been chosen yet. So each player sacrifices a creature. That's good because that helps us with like Vraan and stuff. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. We don't really care about that life because we have a lot of ways to gain life with all the lifelink and everything, right? And the Vraan, for that matter. Or you can transform Henrika Domnathi. Transforms into Henrika Infernal Seer, which is a 3/4 flying Death Touch lifelink. And for 1 and double black, each creature you control with Flying, Death Touch, and or lifelink gets +1/+0 until end of turn. In a deck like this, that could really help you wrap up a game, huh? We have a couple Sorin the Mirthless here. Now we do get to see Sorin enough, so I'm not really going to go over it, but generating those vampires is going to be excellent, and sometimes Sorin can just run away with a game by going plus, and you have enough creatures on the board to protect Sorin for a few turns. You just keep going plus, and then the -7, dude, happens more than you would think. It deals 13 damage to any target, and you gain 13 life. Yeah, that just helps you close up the game, huh? Our very top end, we have a single Gix's Command. It's a 5-mana sorcery. You get to choose 2 of these. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 creature. It gains lifelink until the end of turn. So that could be as simple as like plugging a couple counters onto the Forebearer, having this become a 5 power flying lifelink creature, and then gain 5 life. And then maybe at the end of the turn, generate the blood token with the Bloodseeker and stuff. So I like the lifelink ability on this a lot. Destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Okay, that could come in handy. Return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Yep, that could also come in handy. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. Yeah, Gix's Command is kind of insane. Like, it seems so good. I bet we start seeing more of this around now that Invoke Despair is banned, right? Because Invoke Despair was usually the 5-mana go-to, and we still kind of sort of saw Gix's Command every now and then make an appearance. It just seems really good. Got 24 land in here, 22 of them being Swamp. We have a single Abandoned Mire, and we are rocking a Voldaren Estate this time around. So you can tap it for a colorless, or you can tap it, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a vampire spell, and then it has a bottom ability here for 5 and tap it, create a blood token. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each vampire you control. Honestly, this could be pretty cheap sometimes. Sometimes you have the extra mana, you pay 2, tap it, because you have 3 vampires, create that extra blood token. All those extra blood tokens matter when you need to sacrifice 2 to bring back Forebearer, or eventually maybe have 5 to flip into Bloodbat Summoner, which really helps you close up games, right? So I like the Estate this time around. Honorable mentions, guys. Since we're gaining so much life, I thought about Infernal Grasp, but we're already going to be losing so much life because of all the aggressive decks that are floating about right now. I mean, Selesnya Enchantments is like super aggressive when it wants to be. Zorus Soldiers seem to be everywhere too. And Mono Red is supposed to be everywhere from what I've heard, but I haven't seen it often. So either way, definitely something to consider. Also, we haven't been seeing as much artifact creatures and stuff. So being able to destroy non-artifact creature, I think Go for the Throat's just going to be better, especially right now. And, you know, Bankbuster's gone too, so... No Infernal Grasp this time. Kinzu of the Bleak Coven is a pretty cool one, man. I thought about it for a second, but I think the top end of a single Gix's Command is going to be better. But it's something to consider. It's a 5-mana, 5/4, legendary creature Phyrexian Vampire with flying. And whenever another non-token creature you control dies, which could be often in this build, right? You may pay 2 life and exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1 and has Toxic 1. It's a neat creature, man, but I don't know. It's probably a little janky at the same time. I love the artwork. It's super creepy. Okay, guys, is that everything? I think so. Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, let's see if we can get right into that first game here. What am I expecting from the build? It has a lot of like the goodies that Mono Black can run, like the really good removal and everything. Oh, that took a second. Has the really good pieces of removal. We have really good Planeswalkers packed in here too, but I think we still have to call it janky until it does a thing, huh? Just because of the sheer amount of power and standard. Okay, 24 land. No third. Might be a little reckless to keep this, but I think we try it. We have removal if we need it. We're drawing, so we might actually draw into the land. We did not that turn. Bar's headquarters. Brawling chorus. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. Bant Toxic is scary. Restless Bloodseeker. Honestly, this blocks a little better depending on what they have in hand. I don't like go for the throat for the chorus by any means, right? So maybe it's Vraan. Maybe it's Vraan so we can set up, and hopefully we see our third mana next turn. So we drew twice already. So I think we have a good chance of seeing a land next turn. Oh no, the third Vraan. Oh, that's disgusting, dude. Well, the good news is, at least when Vraan dies, I guess... Opponent? For real, buddy? Oh my goodness. Well, view battlefield. I mean, I'll take the victory. I guess we could have convoked the Markov Baron down, which could have been fine, right? Yeah. I guess the convoke on the Baron was the play. Vraan would have been a 3-3. We would have just had a 2-2 lifelink is the biggest issue there, and I think... yeah, the convoke. That's what we would have done there. Yeah, GG opponent. Well, I guess we didn't have to see the land, right? Actually, with the convoke cost there, because we were actually allowed to keep the creature on the board, we could have just convoked a couple turns in a row. And if we would have seen the land, the second time we convoked, we would have had 2 open if we saw a land. So right into another vampire. That would have been insane, dude. Actually, I really wish we could have played that one out now. Okay, this is a much better hand because we have, like, consistency. Opponent goes first again. No removal this time, though. Well, Liliana can kind of sort of be considered removal, depending on how much they flood the board with creatures, right? Now, this time is probably Bloodcaster over Vraan, I would say. Nice. It lands. That's beautiful. Okay, third mana hits, and... Jace. Okay. Jace might be a problem. We can't hit it right now. Getting as much onto the board as possible would be good. I like the Vraan here. I like the Baron. I like Liliana Plus, honestly. Maybe it's Vraan and prepare ourselves. Well, it's Vraan and then Markov, right? Because it could be a board wipe. You know what? Let's let them wipe the board. If they got it, they got it, man. This is a very cool line of play. We got these sick vampires on the board. If they drop a land, go depopulate, it is what it is, you know? Oh no. Oh no, I'm sweating. Hopefully it's just a Wandering Emperor, which would still be really good for the opponent. If it is depopulate, Sorin can help us reestablish some things. Forebearer and an Ichor Drinker into the grave now. Nice. Okay. It's got to be a Wandering Emperor, right? If we go like Henrika. We have no creatures. We could draw before the combat. It's probably Sorin for the turn, right? What's Wandering Emperor gonna hit? Probably the Baron. So we go... If Emperor's gonna hit Baron, then we'll go... I don't know. I guess we'll go Vraan to Jace and then full swing face. Because if they hit Vraan, that's fine. If we get to keep the Baron, that's pretty good, I would say. So we have... Oh! It's all just landing. Okay. So I guess at that point we potentially could have gotten 1 extra damage to the opponent's face then. Alright, in fear of a board wipe next turn now, right? Like a 5 mana, exile all creatures. We're actually just going to plus on the Sorin, try to restock our hand a little bit. Yeah, I was fully expecting a Wandering Emperor, and then I feel like their targets, like the worst target for them with the Emperor was the Vraan, which is why we targeted Jace with the Vraan. Wow. Okay, that's some counter spells, all right. Keep 5 open, sure, that's not a board wipe. Henrika's not looking bad right now, but I think we don't. I think we hold back. We like now we have to play around a farewell. They're one turn away from a farewell. So it's probably Liliana plus get rid of cut down. And then Ichor is probably not something we want to do right now either, because farewell hits artifacts too, so yep. I think it's Liliana. Hopefully it lands. Could be a second negate or a syncopate or something.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win.
Unfortunately, I would have much rather had Sorin on the board over a Liliana after a farewell hit, you know, but you never know, man. I thought they were going to have the Wandering Emperor on time. They might not have. Miss the feature. Okay. Yeah. Activate only as a sorcery, but I'm playing around a farewell, so. Memory Deluge. Oh, now we really got to play around the farewell. 2 cards to their hand. Memory Deluge. What? How lucky did we just get? I mean, I'll take it, but no board wipes from the opponent. We had a pretty sick setup, guys. We really did. The Convoke on that Baron seems pretty nasty. I'm surprised we haven't seen more people trying out vampire builds, honestly, right? All the XP. Yeah, the Convoke on the Baron. So we tried mono red vampires a couple weeks ago. I was going to try Rakdos vampires, but then I waited for the bans because there was a small chance that what the crap is the name of that card? The Rakdos 2-drop? Really been struggling with the names on cards recently, man. What on earth? Well, either way, there's a small chance that the best Rakdos vampire got banned, and it ended up not getting banned, but then the deck list just kind of got pushed back, and sometimes like mono versions of these lists can be cooler anyways. Really depends. Sometimes when you play a monocolor deck list, the consistency just goes through the roof in comparison. Like, sure, 3-color decks can be absolutely broken, but then every other game you're sweating, am I gonna see my blue source or whatever, you know? So, positive heroes, okay. Let's get the Baron down. Yeah, I'm liking the Convoke on this, man. I'm liking it. Denick is a pain, but Go for the Throat does pick it up, luckily. Pylon could also pick it up. Another, I think it's just going to be, we're going for the swing and then play the Drinker here, right? I like that. Speaking of 3-color decks, Esper Legends most likely, guys. So Pylon's going to come in handy. Okay, ooh, Voldaren Estate. Pylon for one of the Drinkers, and then pay the extra ward cost, right? Probably want to do that. Probably want to do that, then swing for 4. Getting Rafine off the board is pretty good, guys. Could just, we could full swing here, though. Now, I like the Surveil, too, on our turn. They don't have a counterspell open either, so... 1, 2, 3, right? Pay the ward. Auto pay. Swing for 4. Oh! Okay, get that land out of here. Bloodcaster's pretty good. Flying can come in handy. Okay. I guess we'll keep Bloodcaster. I would have liked to see something a little more powerful. Because they can go right into a Shieldred this turn. So maybe if we sent it, we had a chance of finding... Okay, Shieldred. Maybe we had a chance of finding removal. But at the same time, probably not, right? So if we full swing, the block here that we get 4 through down to 8, and then we lose the +1 for the flyer. So I think we just create a blood token. Oh! I played my swamp. We could have used our blood token. I know we couldn't have, because we tapped this down too, and that was the swamp we played. Well. They're going back up to 14. We're in trouble now that Shieldred hit and I used all the removal already. Might have been pretty greedy. It might... Oh my goodness, guys. What a line of play, dude. The Denic, the Rafine, the Shieldred, the AO. That is rough, man. I don't care what you're playing. That is a rough lineup. Down to 24. Alright, we got to get rid of this swamp. Hopefully we find some removal. At this point, if we find removal for Shieldred, now we got to deal with this AO in the sky. If we kill the AO, they could just find more bad stuff for us too, so... I think we take out Shieldred, right? Full swing for the sake of full swinging, let the AO... Because we're going to die soon. We are. I mean, not literally die. We're at 22. It's going to take a few turns. Better drop the thinking so the opponent just doesn't concede on us, right? The estate is fine too here. We go pylon for all 4, full swing, get 6 through, down to 8. We're just not there yet, are we? I think the Surveil is essential, and we're getting rid of their life gain too, so... Baron and Vraan, oh, both could be good, huh? Both could be really good. Alright, we're gonna keep the Baron on the very top, and we're going, man. We could keep Bloodcaster back, but if the AO dies to a Bloodcaster anyways, then they still get the ability. And they don't know we have the other Baron coming next turn for another full swing, so... second Shieldred, okay. Alright, down to 23. Draw. Okay. So Vraan's coming next turn, so buff the board state. And then get a blood token. So I have 2 then. It's no longer a full swing. We'd rather Vraan be on the board to help us drain the opponent. So hopefully they don't find removal here. Back up to 9 because of the Shieldred number 2. Yeah, guys, no matter what deck you're playing, that lineup was insane, man. Oh, buddy. Yeah, Esper Legend's still looking absolutely disgusting. Let the 5 go through. The lifelink has really been crazy, huh? Take 9? The Shieldred's tapped now, guys. I wonder what they're playing from hand. We might as well take the 9. We have 6 lifelink on the board. Of course, we don't know what they're playing, but AO's Vigilance is terrific for them. Down to 10. Vraan. This is cool, guys. This is really cool. I love the estate this time round. A counter spell, maybe? Urtai. Oh. I wonder what we draw. We could draw Vraan number 2. Totally could. Let's see it. We also have blood tokens to help us find... Wow, we drew Vraan number 2. Wow. Okay. Sure. I'll play that. I don't think that's worth trading out, right? Full swing, they have a block here, they have a block here. They take 4 down to 5. They go back up to 7 next turn. Vraan brings them back down to 5. We're going back up to 16. blood tokens. Bloodcaster's gonna die before we can flip any of the bats. It's a tough decision, guys. Unfortunately, we can't hold back at all because of Shieldred. So down to 5. Vraan activates, we get more blood tokens. So best case scenario would be another Bloodcaster off the top and then activate Voldaren Estate. Flip the Bloodcaster into the Summoner and then start creating some 2/2s with our blood tokens, right? So there's a... maybe we kept... well... take 9. Vraan is other creatures. 1 or more other creatures you control die. Ooh, Liliana. Actually, do we send the Liliana to a blood token? Because the sacrifice is obviously AO. We have 4 on the board, though. They sacrifice Shielder to keep the blocker, and then they have 5 in the air. Lifelink can help us through. There's a lot of tough decisions this game, guys. There really is. It also might not land. It might be Urtai number 2. So whatever we grab with the blood token might not land either. Alright. Liliana. I think it's fine. I think we lost. I think we lost either way. Yeah, Urtai resurrected number 2. Woo! Well, uphill battle for this game. I think this could have gone either way, though. I really do. Wow, I'll tell you what. If we had Bloodseeker earlier, we would have had way more blood tokens on the board. Actually, the Bloodcaster would have flipped easily if we had Bloodseeker earlier. Huh. You know what, guys? We could transform this, too. It's only 2 blood tokens. Nice. And if we swing with our drinkers, we go back up to 5. If we lose 1, we gotta survive from the Vraan, right? We'll get another blood token. Vraan can still block. Reveler can block on the ground. If we gotta save 1 back. Oh, but then it's just the AO swing in the air. Yeah, never mind. Well, no, even if we swung with both, they just wanted to take 2. Yeah. Either way, we would have had to survive the draw from the Shieldred as well. So they would have just taken the 2 from Drinker. So if I would have kept that in hand, maybe. But Mono Black doesn't have a lot of combat tricks, so I doubt they would have, like, fallen for anything there. Or blocked in fear that we played something that buffed our creatures, you know what I mean? Honestly, I think that could have gone either way. I think the deck did pretty good there, man. It's kind of like I said earlier, like when I was talking about what I was expecting from the build, I said we have a lot of great removal and a lot of great planeswalkers, so we can expect a little bit from that at least, at the very least. Yeah, I like it. I like the list so far. If we would have seen the Bloodseeker earlier, that would have been really good. Couple mana. Wow, we go first. Nice. I'll give it a shot, man. I think the early Bloodseekers is worth a shot, and now we don't have any of our lifelink though, too. So there's like that small combo aspect. Nice, not a cut down. So we saw a 3rd mana for the Forebearer, which is good news. Pilfer, get out of my hand, opponent. I think the pylon's gone. I don't think they want to get rid of a Forebearer. I think the Bloodseeker was a good choice, opponent. That was good. Alright, get the Forebearer down, or swing first, but they're tapped out, so luckily we're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Stonebrain. A2, tap, exile, choose a card name, search opponents. graveyard, hand, library for up to 4 cards with that name, exile them. Okay. Okay, so they don't entirely know what we're playing with, though, so... Play the Swamp, because Abandoned Mire might actually get played. Too bad, yeah, now we don't have any of the lifelink, but the Forebears can be disgusting. Blood tokens open if we want to send something, but I doubt we do. I don't know what they would hit with Stone Brain. I really don't. Like, I guess the Pylon. They know we have Pylon in hand. But then we draw a card for each card exiled from their hand. Okay. Interesting. Some spot removal open, probably. And I think we just save the blood token here. Vraan. Play this before combat because they'd want to drop removal before we swing then. Okay. So that's probably no removal then. Okay. We'll swing. It's a lot of damage, dude. Down to 8. Couple blood tokens. We could find a 1/1. We could also transform this. It's only as a sorcery. Okay, I'll transform it. See, if Forebearer dies, though, we won't be able to bring it back, but it's not like it has haste anyways, so I'm going to keep the Abandoned Mire because there's a chance we still see more swamps. Depopulate. Vraan deals 2. I should have known. I should have known it was going to be the board wipe. We can discard, try to find more. Well, bringing the Forebearer back with the 2 instead of the transforming last turn would have been the go-to, man. Abandoned Mire is going to go grab, let's see, Pylon. Yeah, Depopulate brings them right back into this game, guys. Let's bring the Vraan, because I think that's better than the Restless right now. And play the Swamp. And we're in trouble. Let's see what else the opponent has. That's kind of sort of my fault, dude. If I didn't get greedy by flipping the Blood-Soaked Reveler, we would have had 2 to bring back the Forebearer. And now they can exile Forebearer quite successfully, so I think that's what they end up doing. Stonebrain looking cool, man. Yeah, Forebearer's out of the equation, and we have to figure out a way to get that 6 damage through. So we need to draw stuff that's not land, or use our blood token to help us filter. So I guess right now they're looking through the library, right? So 2 out of the library, 2 out of the grave. Sometimes it can be as simple as a single depopulate. Alright, let's ditch the land. Gotta find creatures. Ichor Drinker, that's good. Start with that because they have a tower. Oh, well, I guess it could still be a counterspell. Nice, okay, Vraan hits. So that probably held up because of spot removal, and they'd want to spot remove Vraan over the Drinker because the Vraan can really pile through extra damage. March for 1. I think we lost. They have so many cards in hand. I don't know how we're going to plug that extra damage through. Unfortunately, they had that Stone Brain. Even if we did keep the blood tokens. Oh no. Vraan's about to get exiled. We could surveil with the Pylon. I guess we should before they untap with anything, huh? Yeah, they have one swamp. I guess we'll do this for the turn, and I think we give it to the opponent because we don't know how how long it's actually going to take them to win. Sorin could be huge. You know what? If Sorin lands, actually both of these are pretty good. Go Sorin plus, grab the Bloodcaster, get a little bit closer because we'll have 6 mana at that point. I like both of those. Maybe we don't concede just yet, huh? 6 mana. I'm going to play this in case they have something that has us discard, because they played Pilfer earlier. This might be the style of deck that plays Liliana. Alright, come on, Sorin, buddy. You gotta land. You gotta hit this board state, man. Ooh. There we go. Plus, grab the Bloodcaster and cast it. Get the Bloodcaster down. I think plussing the Sorin instead of the -2 is fine, because now we can have a couple turns in a row where we go -2. Okay, Sorin's out of here. Well, Bloodcaster hits the board at least. Oh man, this is rough. This is rough, guys. There was probably another way to play around the depopulate too. Depending on what the opponent does, though, if they can't prove that they can actually get the 20 damage through in the next couple turns, then we'll concede. Because some decks don't run too many ways to win. Bloodcaster, man. Just another Bloodcaster is decent, though. Like, this might be the style of deck where Wandering Emperor is their only win condition. Just generating samurais, right? Well, I guess Demolition Field deals with the Voldaren Estate. We'll go for the swing. And Bloodcaster's not going to make it. All right, well, one more, guys. One more turn. Because I don't think we're going to get through, and I don't want to just hold you guys here. Hold you guys in a game that's really not looking great. So, I guess it's Esper control then. We got the Void Rend here. The early Pilfer worked out well. Grabbing the extra Bloodseeker and everything. Just being able to grab more in general, huh? This actually helps us filter, which means we have a chance of not seeing a land off the top. Which means we have a chance of seeing like another Sorin. And another Sorin could be really good, man. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the opponents. Like, we're out of cards and they are not. Wow, Vraan off the top, though. All right, removal for the Vraan. We'll concede and give it to them. What if they don't have removal for the Vraan, guys? Ah! There's a chance that they don't have removal for the Vraan, but I doubt it. I mean, look at this, man. Ah, farewell. All right, hey, good game, opponent. Usually I like to let the opponents play out the games, but I don't know about that one. I don't know about that deck. That's not one. We don't talk about that match game. We continue forward. No, that was removal tribal, and with no proof of actually having a win condition, we could sit there for another 20 minutes just drawing cards, you know what I mean? And since we're 37 minutes in already, and I'm enjoying the deck, I want to get more matches in, you know? Ooh, we go first? Okay, let's do this, man. Good hand. We cut down their first turn, and then Bloodcaster Forebear. Oh, get to keep the cut down available for another turn here. Go Bloodcaster on turn 3, keep the cut down open. Okay, they have 2 cards. Go Bloodcaster Baron. Bloodcaster probably gets countered. I'd rather Forebear get countered, but if we can go Bloodcaster Baron on the same turn, the odds of a turn 3 board wipe is very, very low. Like, we'd never see the temporary lockdown card. So, Faithful Mending, draw. Gain 2, draw 2, then discard 2. Okay. Ooh. Oh no. Eternal Wanderer and Atraxa are in the grave. We have a couple turns to win. We have a couple turns, guys, before they hit 5. So, Restoration. Get one step closer to the... If we could find removal for the Atraxa, find our Go for the Throat, or our Pylon, then maybe. I don't think the cut down's going to do too much this game, guys. Forebearer is probably the best bet over the Bloodseeker. Although Bloodseeker helps us get more blood tokens. I think we go Forebearer. Unfortunately, it could be turn 4 board wipe and then turn 5 reanimate. This is happening very fast, guys. Okay, they got their ramp. They play their 4th. Please don't be a depopulate. Okay. They can gain 2 off the Faithful Mending. Next turn is the reanimation. If we don't find removal for Atraxa, the lifelink pulls them back into the game. Markov Baron number 2, and then they go like Wandering Emperor Baron number 1. Still not enough though, is it? It's 10 damage. So if Baron number 2 actually sticks, then we win. If it's not a Wandering Emperor or removal, then it's game. Like if it's only the Faithful Mending. Okay, Wandering Emperor, take out Baron number 1, 10 damage gets through. Reanimate Atraxa next turn, 7 lifelink. Up to 12 from the Atraxa. We don't have enough here. Another, like, Baron off the top might be enough, except now they have a blocker on the ground with Restoration. Sunfall! They don't have their Reanimate card, guys. Oh no, Sunfall's really bad. Yeah, they want to keep the Wandering Emperor around. Yeah, the Exile on the Forebearer, everything about that was rough. Oh no, guys. We can't even do 2 things this turn, which I guess it would be Forebearer. Keep the cut down open for their 2/2. They power up Incubator. We got lucky in the sense that they didn't reanimate Atraxa, but the Sunfall might have been worse. It very well might have been worse. They have the cut down for that, at least. Or we could ditch the cut down with the blood token. What could we find that would be better? We want to take out Emperor over the 3 swing there. I think we take out the Samurai. Actually, just because we had the open mana doesn't mean we should have used it there, probably, right? Okay, this works, this works. So we can ditch the Swamp. So it worked out, but if we would have kept it and they would have targeted that next turn with the +1/+1, then that would have been better. We swing here, and they have Wandering Emperor number 2. The Exile and the Forebearer would be very bad for us. Pile on. It's the same concept. We have to tap the Forebearer, so Wandering Emperor still takes care of it. If we go 3 to face, then there's a chance that we win next turn. If it is Wandering Emperor number 2, then I'd rather 3 to face. Play Bloodseeker. Because if we go... Okay, Wandering Emperor number 2. Okay, so the Exile for the Forebearer for sure. They don't want that in the grave by any means. We go Bloodseeker. And now we just hope to see something good, man. These control decks are rough business, and I do think that the Sunfall was worse than reanimating the Atraxa there. I think if we still had a nice wide board state, we would have had a good chance with the Atraxa. Okay, power up the 5/5 blocks the Bloodseeker very well. Pile on. Okay, they go for the swing, actually. I'll take the 6. At least this deck is showing us that it's willing to get the damage through, you know? So Pylon takes out Wandering Emperor without the swing. And then we get the Surveil as well. As long as this isn't like a... Okay, yeah, no 1 mana counterspell. Sorin's great, dude. Vraan's great. Sorin, right? I guess Sorin on top. It depends, man. I'm pretty sure this is the opponent's because we let it go on for too long, but I'll tell you what, our deck does know how to get some good damage through. That first Sunfall was a little bit too much for us, though. Restoration number 3, oh my. They have 4 mana. At some point, they're going to see their reanimation cards. Up to 7. They have 4 open. Is this Wandering Emperor number 3, guys? Is that what I'm seeing right now? Is that what I'm seeing? Faithful Mending, okay. See what they send to the grave. So they're actually taking this damage, so that's good. Down to 6 now. Alright, Sorin. We take the 6. We could go plus get the Vraan for extra card draw. Down to 2. Flip Restoration. I think we just need more in the air, though. And they might actually swing at Sorin. Another Sunfall would be worst case scenario, but at least their Restoration would be gone. And Sunfall doesn't hit the Sorin either, so... We have 4 in the air here. Vraan comes down pretty hard, man, because if we lose a creature, you know, when the opponent's life is so low, every 2 matters. Swing at face. Take the 6, right? We have 2 cards in hand, guys. What could it be? Could it be the reanimation now? Farewell in the grave. Oh, it is the reanimation. Ah, GG opponent. I don't know. I don't know what we could have done. So now the only thing we could hope for is finding a go for the throat with the Sorin, right? And then, so we would go, we're drawing Vraan. We go plus, because we can't get by the Flying Vigilant Death Touch lifelink of Atraxa. They restocked their hand here pretty well. So yeah, find removal off of Sorin, let's see it. And a pile-on would kill us. Oh my goodness, we found the go for the throat.
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
We don't know what that last card in hand is. Vraan comes down. We're at 2. What's holding us here, guys? Is it the cycling, probably, on the Spar's headquarters? So we remove the Atraxa. Sanctuary's bad. We swing back up to 4. Down to 2. And then if one of our creatures die, then Vraan ends the game. We got there, guys! Oh my goodness, they dropped the GGs and I wasn't really sure if it was for us. Or, yeah, I mean, that's what was going to do it. We were going to swing 4 in the air, and then if they swing, we block, and then Vraan ends it. Well, hold on now. They had lay down arms, and plenty of planes, so they could have went lay down arms on Vraan to exile it. We'd be back up to 5. We'd have 1 blocker here. Actually, it was... Wait. Am I missing the damage? Am I missing something? Because the laydown arms would have been enough. Oh no. We actually... I think I am missing something. We'd be gaining 2 from the vampire swing as well. Right? So it'd be back up to 7 total. A block on the ground for the architect takes 6 down to 1. Wow, what a match, guys. It's like I said, we do know how to pile damage through. Finding that go for the throat off the Sorin was absolutely essential, and I mean, it worked out. It worked out very nicely. I feel like we got a little lucky there. The opponent had some terrific plays though too, so we can't say we got like just ridiculously lucky. Like they had their Wandering Emperors right when they needed them. They had the board wipes right when they needed them, and the reanimation for that matter too, so... It's just a good game all around, huh? Here's the deck list again, guys. This was a fun time. I like it. I think this is totally a way to put vampires together. I think it would be relatively fine, if not a little janky sometimes, which is completely fine, right? It's totally cool to play jank as long as you're having fun. Some things I would do, I would drop a 1 or 2 of the Bloodseekers. It's fine in here. I think the extra blood tokens could go a long way, but... Like we saw in those games, how often are you actually getting a chance to get everything onto the board? Not often, man. You see Restless Bloodseeker all the moments when you don't have your lifelink cards. You see all of your lifelink cards when the lifelink doesn't matter, right? So, speaking of the lifelink cards, most of the time it is going to matter. Every deck knows how to get damage through pretty effectively, and if you are up against like aggro and stuff too, we haven't really seen a lot of mono red in the last couple of videos, but all this lifelink would be great against mono red, so they'd be spending a lot of extra time and burn spells onto your creatures, which honestly might not be too bad for you, especially if you can get Vraan down. Then they probably want to try to burn Vraan first, and then you just keep your lifelink for a little while longer, and the flying works really well against mono red too. So Forebear not being able to block can be a little scary sometimes, but this is a great way to just plug that extra damage through in the air. And unfortunately, the opponents had a lot of ways to exile Forebearer, so we didn't actually get to see that bottom ability come into play, but I think it will. Yeah, the removal's great. Pylon is excellent. I love it. The extra surveil goes a very long way when you're trying to be aggressive. It's the same thing. Like, we see how powerful Play with Fire's Scry can actually be, right? It can actually be game-changing. It can literally win you the game. Play with Fire the opponent's face, keep the next burn spell on top of the library, or send the land to the bottom to find a hasty creature. It's the same exact concept with this Surveil too on Pylon, and it just so happens that we do have a good way of getting creatures on the board. Like, we just have a lot of creatures packed in here. How many? 25, yeah, 25 creatures, man. So I like the Pylon edition a lot. The Planeswalkers were terrific. The Markov Baron was pretty ridiculous, man. Other vampires you control get +1/+1 is insane. The Lifelink's great. The Convoke is disgusting on so many levels, dude. Turn 1, Ichor Drinker. Turn 2, Markov Baron is just not bad at all. Turn 3 could be a Bloodcaster, keep a Cutdown open, or at that point, Pylon too because of the Convoke. So there's a lot to think about here, man. There's actually just a lot of power packed in. I think we didn't get to see Gix's command come into play, but I still like the 1-of on the top end. We have the 25 land, which is 24 land, which is totally fine for this style of curve. The Voldaren Estate was pretty neat. We got that bottom ability pretty cheap a few times, huh? Like 1 mana tap this, create a blood token, and that could really come in handy if you're trying to like flip the Bloodcaster into the Bloodbat Summoner. So guys, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.